Chem Quest 48, Intro to Acids and Bases by Shannon Sullivan. Definitions of acids and bases. Arrhenius acids are when the concentration of H plus increases during a reaction when the substance is dissolved in water. An arrhenius base is when a concentration of OH minus increases when substance is dissolved in water. A Bronson-Lowry acid gives off an H plus proton during a reaction. A Bronson-Lowry base gains an H plus proton during reaction. Critical thinking questions. List all the reactants in Table 1 that are arrhenius acids. They are HC2H3O2, HCl, H2O, and H2CO3. List all the reactants in Table 1 that are arrhenius bases. C2H3O2 minus. Number 3. List all the reactants in Table 1 that are Bronson-Lowry acids. H2O, HC2H3O2, H2CO3, and HCl. List all the reactants in Table 1 that are Bronson-Lowry bases. C2H3O2 minus, SO4 minus, and H2O. Is it possible for an ion to act as a base? Explain. A base is anything that can accept H plus ions, and an OH minus or hydroxyl ions are a strong base that can also accept H plus ions, making it possible for both. Critical thinking questions continued. Number 6. Can a substance act as both an acid and a base under different conditions? Explain. Yes, in Table 1, H2O acts as both an acid and a base in different reactions. Number 7. Is the statement true? All substances that are arrhenius acids are also Bronson-Lowry acids. Explain. Yes, because all three answers in answer 1 are also in answer 3, showing that if a substance is an arrhenius acid, then it also is a Bronson-Lowry acid. Number 8. If a substance is a Bronson-Lowry acid, can we conclude that the substance is also an arrhenius acid? Explain. No, because not all answers that appear in answer 3 are also in answer 1, showing that not all Bronson-Lowry acids are also arrhenius acids. Critical thinking questions continued. 8a. What is the strongest acid among reactions 3 through 5 in Table 1? Explain. HCl, because it has the largest Kc value and shows H3O plus in a larger concentration. 8b. What is the weakest acid among the reactions in 3 through 5 in Table 1? Explain. HCN, because it has a very small Kc value. Consider reaction 3. Number 10a. What substance is formed by the acid after the acid loses a proton? C2H3O2 minus. 10b. Is the substance an acid or a base? It is a base because it produces an OH minus. Number 11. Drawing a conclusion from question 10, what can be said about the substance after it loses a proton? Is the substance formed acidic or basic? After an acid loses an H plus ion, the substance is a base. Conjugate acid-base pairs. A conjugate acid or base is formed when gaining or losing an H plus ion. Critical thinking questions. Number 12. Describe when a conjugate base is formed. It is formed when you lose an H plus. Describe how a conjugate acid is formed when you gain an H plus. Number 14. For each of the below, write of the reaction of the acid with the water and circle the formula of the conjugate acid in the reaction. Number 1 is HSO4 minus because it loses an H plus ion. Number 2 is CO3 minus 2 because it also loses an H plus ion. And for number 3, it is also F minus because it loses an H plus ion. Critical thinking question number 15. For each of the bases below, write the reaction of the base with water and circle the formula of the conjugate acid in your reaction. Number 1 is NH4 plus because it gains an H plus ion. Number 2 is H2O because it also gains an H plus ion. And number 3 is HNO3 because it also gains an H plus ion. Acids practice. Number 1. A certain substance is known to increase the concentration of H3O. Is it an acid or a base? An acid. Number 2. Given the following reaction, identify the arrhenius acid and describe why the substance you chose is arrhenius. It would be H2SO4 because the concentration of H plus increases in the solution. How do the Bronson-Lowry definitions and arrhenius definitions differ? Bronson-Lowry acids donate a proton of H plus, whereas arrhenius acids increase the concentration of H plus in the solution. Number 4. Describe the difference between a weak and strong acid. Strong acids dissociate completely, whereas weak acids break up partially. Number 5. In each of the following reactions, identify an acid if there is one. H2CO3 is a Bronson-Lowry because its H plus